My 27 male brother said he would propose at my wedding. I told him no, it was a day for my wife and me, and we didn't want any distractions. My mom lost it. She said he wanted family he might not see again for a while to be a part of the proposal. I said I didn't care, and that if he did it, I would have kicked him out. He did it. My mom said if I tried kicking him out, she would leave too, and she did it. I just remember seething inside. My brother got married last weekend. Instead of a welcome to the family toast, I used the time to announce that we were expecting our first baby. My mom was upset, but my grandmother told her to sit down and shut up. We spent most of the reception talking to family we wouldn't see again about our coming baby. My mom says I was an idiot for taking attention away from my brother on his wedding day. She got furious when I reminded her that she threatened to leave my wedding if I kicked him out after he proposed. I have screenshots of the text messages. So, am I the idiot for announcing our pregnancy at my brother's wedding after he proposed at mine? Edit. My wife wanted to get even and announce pregnancy because we agreed to have our wedding in my home country. Her friends and family had to travel for our wedding, and he hijacked it. My wife has been angry since our wedding. Fun fact, my wife is not pregnant. We literally live in another country from most of the people at the wedding, and we're trying to start a family. Most people won't be able to do the math if our kid's born a couple of months late. It's blatantly obvious which one of you is the golden child. Good job to Grandma for shutting Mom's BS down. But your bro? He asked and you said no. He did it anyway. That's an easy way to wind up on people's idiot list. What did his wife say when she found out he didn't get your permission to ask? Is she an idiot too? Not the idiot for giving back what you got. The tidbit about Grandma is funny. Grandma's tired of her daughter's crap and isn't afraid to say so. She's a legend. Personally, if a guy proposed during a wedding, I would feel cheated out of my own special day. He proposed on someone else's dime instead of doing it on his own. Also, all of his family were there, but hers wasn't, and someone's in-laws were there too. Weird. Way to go, OP, to bring the karma back around hard and strong. I'd be reminding Mom that Grandma had been pretty clear where she needed to be on this issue. I want to know if Golden Boy dared to say anything about this to you all. Mother messed around and got caught playing clear favorites. If I were you, Mom would have very limited contact with my child. I, female 30, am marrying my fiancé 29 male in 2 months. I have 3 siblings, 25 male Sam, 37 female Sarah, and 42 male Jake. My mom got pregnant at 18 and gave birth to my eldest brother, Jake. Jake and I are half siblings. Due to our age gap, I never really bonded with my eldest brother. When I was 6 years old, he went to college. He used to call Mom and Dad, his stepdad, regularly to ask about me and my other siblings. But that's it. Nothing more than just normal, how are you, and what are you doing? We never really hung out with him. Only my sister was close to him. They used to talk a lot, unlike me and Sam. Whenever he visited us, he would bring chocolates and gifts, and take me and my other siblings to lunch and dinner. As I grew up, we started to drift apart. On the other hand, I have a very good relationship with my other siblings. Currently, Jake and I only talk once a month. Now, the main issue is that I'm getting married to the love of my life, and we've planned a small wedding. Nothing big or extravagant. We're saving for a home and honeymoon. Since it's a small wedding, both of us have decided to only invite close friends and family members. I've invited 4 friends and my mom, dad, Sarah, Sam, and my grandmother from my father's side, only grandparent alive. When I broke this news to my family, all heck broke loose. I was expecting my mom to be upset that I didn't invite my brother. Still, almost everyone was upset, including Sam, which I didn't expect. So Sam wanted to become a software engineer, and Jake was a software engineer. For that reason, he and Jake started to talk more, and Jake guided Sam in his journey of becoming a software engineer. I, on the other hand, am a lawyer. I didn't know they reconnected. All of them are saying that I can't do this to Jake, who's also family. I've talked to Jake, and he said he's fine with not being invited. but would appreciate it if I reconsidered my decision, as I was invited to his wedding. My fiance is fine with inviting Jake, but I think the only people who should be a part of the wedding are the ones you love and care about. You are the idiot. So your much older brother has always been inclusive of you, never abused or bullied you, and talks to you every month. And for that crime, you exclude him from your wedding while inviting everyone else? Just because you're not the center of his universe, you're throwing a tantrum that he doesn't love you when all he's done is love you, albeit older. Why is it on him to do the work? What about you? What have you ever done to connect with him? You should be utterly ashamed of yourself and your pathetic outlook. Grow up. He made far more effort to be in OP's life than she ever did. He still calls her regularly, gives them gifts, and takes them out whenever he visits when they were younger. What more does OP want? He's older than her, so he naturally left home well before her, working and having a life. Of course, the bond wouldn't be the same as with her siblings, who were at home with her for far longer. She has some petty hate or grudge going on, and there's no reason in what she posted why she's being so petty and ridiculous. Makes me wonder if she thinks he's the golden child of his parents and holds a grudge against him when he's not responsible for how others treat him. My parents became foster parents after I, a teen male, was born. They actually adopted 3 kids from foster care before they decided to stop fostering. My parents then said they wanted to focus more on their kids, but really, I think they were struggling with the 4 of us, and I think near the end, fostering became more for the money than anything. As the oldest and their bio kid, they didn't worry if I felt like I belonged or not. I had to make more sacrifices than my siblings. Stuff for me came last. I got less than my siblings too, and gifts were cheaper, so they could splurge a little for my siblings. So for Christmas, I'd maybe get some clothes and books, and I don't really read, and my siblings would get toys, tablets, and stuff they loved. For my birthday, I'd get a smaller cake and essentials as gifts again. When I was a tween, my grandparents bought me a laptop for my birthday, and my parents pressured me into giving it up so it could be used as a family computer instead of a personal one just for me. I said no the first time, but my parents wouldn't accept it. I don't get to go out with my friends often because my parents don't want to use gas to drive me and don't want to give me money to eat or go to a movie or whatever. They also send me to birthdays without a gift for my friends, so I've asked my grandparents for money sometimes to buy a gift for my friends. My parents never send my siblings without gifts for their friends. My parents wanted me to get a job, but they wanted me to do that to put the money into the household. Since I get the short end of the stick, I don't want to add money to make everyone else's lives easier, but not mine, and I don't believe it would make my life easier. My grade will have the chance to go on the school's interactional trip in October. We were told about it in February so we could save and get numbers. I pleaded with my parents to find a way to send me. I got my grandparents to help me talk them through it, and they agreed, so they started saving. Then a week ago, my parents announced that my younger brother's birth mom was pregnant again, and she approached them to do a private adoption so her kids could be raised together. My parents agreed, so they sat us down and told us and mentioned that they had already spent the money saved for the trip. They said things would change for a couple of years, but we'd have a new family member. I was so angry and hurt. I just walked out. I walked away from my parents and ignored them when they called me back. They were so angry about it, and when my grandparents found out, they offered to pay for the trip for me, but my parents said that they would stop them from paying directly, and if they gave the money to them or me, they would make sure that it goes to more important things. They called me childish and petty for walking away like I did. Am I the idiot? Edit. Living with my grandparents sounds great, but my parents would never let me go. Not the idiot. You reacted maturely, I think, not throwing a tantrum in front of your siblings. You do take care of them too. It seems to me like you're the third parent, and you have to sacrifice a lot of things. You're not an age to be a parent, and you didn't choose to behave like that. Your parents should treat everyone, including you, the same way. They created your resentment. You're right. But I don't understand why your parents won't let you receive gifts from your grandparents. First the laptop, then this trip. It's so weird. It's their gift to you. You're clearly not spoiled. You're clearly mature. You deserve this little treat. I need help understanding your parents' point of view. They risk losing you when you reach 18 and leave the house. I feel sorry for you. Still, it's the first time I've heard that foster parents care more about their foster children than their biological ones. Usually it's the other way around. OP, start telling everybody you know about the household dynamics and how you're pushed aside and they keep adding kids. Tell your teachers and school counselor to give all your neighbors fodder for gossip. If your parents are part of a church group, make a fuss to them about the unfairness. Make so much noise that your parents send you to your grandparents' house so that you stop bad-mouthing them. You've been cooperative and quiet, which has not worked in your favor. So go in the opposite direction. Your parents are trying to parentify you, making a minor responsible for funding the family. Not nice. My mom was an amazing mother. She also had no support and was young. I have no idea how she pulled it off. She did, however, needlessly complicate parenting because her standards were so high. She believed if her kids showed any interest in anything, she had to support it full throttle. That meant that sister who rode horses owned 3 and competed every weekend. It meant going to every one of my games and getting me private lessons. It meant my sister, who liked art, had to be taken to the Louvre and the Met. Dinner had to be healthy, of restaurant quality, and interesting. Our free time had to be spent on endless fun and enriching activities because video games would rot our brains. Every weekend was hiking, going to the beach, or some adventure. She never raised her voice. We didn't really get punished. We just talked stuff out. I really don't know how she did it. I have 3 kids, supportive in-laws, and a partner, and they still ended up with too much iPad time and eating frozen dino nuggets sometimes. For what a great mom she was not a great grandmother. She's polite but largely disinterested. She absolutely does not babysit, and she really doesn't seem to want to help. My wife has always resented her for this, but I feel like she went above and beyond for her own kids, and she's allowed to be selfish now. Between the ages of 19 and 41, nothing was ever about her, and now she's a bit selfish, but that's okay. My wife recently went on a rant about how my mom doesn't care about us, and she's drowning with 3 kids. I asked her to stop, and she replied, "Well, what do you care? She cares about you." My wife said that families were meant to be villages. I got annoyed and told her that plenty of people do it without a village. My mom did, and she didn't sign up to be our village. My wife was very hurt and felt I was implying my mom was a better parent than her. Edit, my moron dad was loaded, and she got a lot when they divorced. OP, your mom had a village. Frankly, it sounds like she owned the village. I don't know how she did it. Money is my final answer. She did it with money. One sister had 3 horses, competing every weekend, and the other sister got trips to the Louvre just because they liked art? Let's just pop over to Paris real quick. Excuse me, what? Mom might not have had a village, but she had a lot of money, which is like a village, better than a village. Whether she was a good mom or a bad mom, or had family wealth or anything is irrelevant, really. She isn't obligated to babysit if she doesn't want to. You are not the idiot. There is no rule that says grandparents have to be on tap unpaid babysitters. Wife's drowning with 3 kids? Those are your kids. If you couldn't take care of them, you shouldn't have had 3. Sorry, not sorry. I'm so tired of hearing people say, my kids are too much, and people are obligated to help me. It's not the 1950s, where you don't get to control your family population. I, 34 male, got married 9 years ago to my wife, Jessica. Jessica and I have 2 children, Robin, a preteen female, and Theo, a male kindergartner. Growing up, I didn't have a family. I was a foster kid who was bounced around a lot because sometimes my biological mother would take me back, but she'd always end up losing custody again or placing me back. When she finally stopped trying, I was 11 and too old for most people who wanted babies or really little kids. So I aged out of the system without being adopted or finding a family. When Jessica and I met, I hoped I'd be welcomed by her family, but that's not how it went. It took me years to figure it out, though. They look down on me. They're not totally obvious about it, but I see it in the way that they are with me versus the way they are with the other sons and daughters-in-law. Like asking them about Christmas plans, but saying they didn't expect us to do anything else because I don't have a family. Or asking about the others' jobs and promotions, but never me. Then acting so shocked both times Jessica or I mentioned that I was promoted. There was a time when sister-in-law mentioned a foster kid who won a scholarship to college, and it made the local news. The whole family's reaction was, "Oh wow, a foster kid making it to college is so unexpected." And Jessica pointed out that I went to college. They looked a little uncomfortable, and I heard two of her siblings whisper something about Jessica and that story. So I assume they believe she lied about where we met. They don't make any effort for my birthday. They make assumptions that I don't spend time with my kids. They assume that any effort I make is my doing for Jessica and don't believe me when I say it's not. Yet they'll always ask for my help with repairs around the house or assembling something because I'm good at that stuff. I've helped Jessica's parents and all her siblings at least twice. Once I realized, with help from therapy, that they really don't like me and seem to think less of me for being a foster kid, I did that stuff for Jessica and not for them. But then a few weeks ago, Jessica's parents had issues with the stairs. I went and fixed them up. I spent hours working on one part and had to go get extra materials, which was a whole thing. Some of the family came over while I was there, and Jessica's parents made food for them, but nothing for me. When I asked them if there was any for me, they told me they didn't think I'd want to eat after working so hard, for hours, with no food in between. I told them they didn't think that. They simply didn't want to be polite to me and offer food after doing all that work for them. I was called out by Jessica's parents and her siblings. Jessica took my side, as did some of the sibling spouses, but I was called out again for not helping fix a shelf for one of Jessica's sisters and saying never again would I help any of them. They said family helps family. I asked them when they ever treated me like family. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You're not a husband or Jessica's partner. You're a built-in handyman, and that's all they'll ever look at you, the hired help. You should tell Jessica that she can keep all the contact you want from their family, but you need to go very low or have no contact with them, and that's it. Maybe one holiday a year, and that's about all I would do. And if they ever ask for help again, say my hourly rate is $500 an hour, and I need 3 hours up front. Bro, you're a saint for dealing with them for so long. Completely cut them off, and if your wife still can't see how crappy they're treating you, then I would have a serious discussion with her. They're treating you like a low-class citizen, not like family. It's astounding that you have a family member overworking on your house and won't offer them anything to eat. I serve lunch to any contractor who's spending the day working in my house. Not offering food to a family member has the intent and is a clear declaration of disdain.